I am the philosophical bachelor, and today I'm going to be talking about justifying knowledge, coherentism versus foundationalism. How do we justify our true beliefs so that they can become knowledge? The classical account of knowledge considers knowledge to be justified through belief. To have knowledge, one believes something that is true and can justify that belief. Post-Gettier, the three conditions of justification, truth, and belief are considered necessary but no longer sufficient for knowledge. The condition of truth belongs to the domain of metaphysics, while the nature of belief is in the domain of the philosophy of mind. The condition of justification belongs to epistemology. Epistemological theories to justify true belief include infinitism, coherentism, and foundationalism. Given a true belief, such as Brussels is the capital of Belgium, how can we justify it? Why is justification even required? Can the proposition simply be accepted without justification? We can, but this will mean that we will have no rational basis to think we know that. Belief 0. Brussels is the capital of Belgium. We may perhaps be mistaken, but have no means to investigate further, since our belief is based on nothing. Hence, to know our beliefs, we need justification. For instance, we can refer to an atlas which lists the capitals of all the countries, resulting in Belief 1. The atlas lists Brussels as the capital of Belgium. How will we know, though, that the information in the atlas is correct? If we want to seek further justification, we can look into the credentials of the author, Smith, who produced the atlas. We do so by checking his educational certificates, leading to Belief 2. Smith's educational certificate proves he is qualified to produce the atlas. We can then contact the degree granting institution to verify he indeed graduated, leading to Belief 3. Smith graduated from the degree granting institution on his certificate. If we remain unsatisfied, we can investigate the institution to see if he has been taught properly, inquire into the teacher's qualifications and their teacher's qualifications, and so on. This leads to Belief 4. Smith was properly taught. Belief 5. His teachers were qualified. Belief 6. His teachers were qualified. If at any point in the process we discover a false belief, for example, if he never attended the institution on his certificate, it would shake all our beliefs that preceded it. If not, we can continue the process of supporting each belief with a further belief, leading to an infinite chain of justification. This process is called infinitism. The never-ending nature of this process of justification is problematic, since if we stop at the nth belief, we do not know if we may have found a false belief in the n+1 belief. Hence, unless we find a false belief, we can never stop investigating, leading to an infinite regress. In our case, if we have been satisfied believing Belief 2 after seeing his certificate and did not pursue our investigation further to verify Belief 3, we would not have realized he did not attend the institution, for instance. Other than the infinite amount of resource needed to investigate any belief, it seems intuitive that a belief supported by a never-ending tower of beliefs is precarious. However, this may simply be a prejudice on the part of the critics of infinitism, since many people seem to have no problems with other infinite concepts, such as their belief in an infinite God or with infinite numbers. If indeed the tower of beliefs continue down infinitely, it might be even regarded as a strength of the theory. The problem is that at one point of the journey downwards, we come across a false belief leading to the collapse of the entire tower. Let us assume in our thought experiment that Belief 7, Smith did indeed attend and graduate from the institution. We can then make a series of closely related beliefs, such as Belief 8.1, the institution is KU Leuven. Belief 8.2, KU Leuven is a university. Belief 8.3, universities are places where students learn. Belief 8.4, when its students complete their learning, they are granted degrees. In addition, let the following be true in our thought experiment. Belief 9, Smith graduated. Belief 10, Smith worked in the mapping division of the government for 10 years before writing the atlas. Based on these beliefs, we are satisfied that he is qualified to produce the atlas. What we have here is not an infinite tower of beliefs, but a series of connected beliefs that support one another, a network or a web of beliefs. Each strand connects to multiple other strands, and the entire web forms a coherent body of beliefs. This describes the epistemological theory called Coherentism. Sometimes the beliefs or part of it could line up in a circle. For example, belief 11.1, Smith got a job to produce the atlas. Belief 11.2, the atlas was published by KU Leuven. Belief 11.3, Smith's father is the rector of KU Leuven. Belief 11.4, Smith has studied chemistry at KU Leuven. Provisional belief 11.5, because of his father's influence, Smith managed to land an interview with the atlas producing division of KU Leuven. This circle of belief now explains how Smith landed the job of atlas making. These new beliefs might threaten some strands of our previously coherent web of beliefs, such as Smith's educational certificate proved he is qualified to produce the atlas. We might start to wonder if our atlas is reliable after all, and hence if its statement on Brussels is true. However, other parts of the web remain intact and unshaken, such as how universities are places where students learn. Quine proposes a series of revisions to investigate the shaky beliefs, where we remedy them, reject them, or momentarily suspend judgment. We then have to also revise the other beliefs supporting the remedied or rejected beliefs. This revision continues until coherence has been restored in our web. In the case of the atlas, we may discover that despite Smith's father being the rector, belief 11.6, Smith did not receive any special treatment at the university. We might, however, wish to reject the belief that Smith was qualified to produce the atlas since he studied chemistry. However, we also discover that belief 12, his work in the government's mapping division gave him a thorough training in map making, qualifying him as an expert map maker. In this way, our web of belief has been further developed and stabilized. The fact that our web of beliefs is revisable to take in new facts and to reject or fix newly falsified beliefs and their associated beliefs is a strength of coherentism. However, just because our beliefs are coherent does not make it true. Man has believed that the Earth was the center of the universe since antiquity until it was challenged in the Middle Ages by Copernicus. A coherent web of belief was built around this geocentric model of the universe and it worked well. This points to a weakness of coherentism. The body of beliefs coherentism encompasses may work well, but it may be untrue and hence does not justify knowledge. However, as new discoveries surface, the web is resilient enough to be revised. For example, the motions of the planets seem not to follow circular orbits, and Ptolemaic innovations such as epicycles were introduced to the web of beliefs to account for the eccentricities. With the benefit of hindsight, the adjustments became too cumbersome and the web became increasingly incoherent. Copernicus' hypothesis of a heliocentric universe became a landmark breakthrough which thoroughly simplified the mechanics of the universe. However, his discovery was so fundamental that it struck at the core of the web, practically tearing the web apart. His discovery changed the way man understood his place in the world, his religious beliefs, and the very structure of the universe. Much of the existing beliefs in the web had to be revised. This is because a foundational belief in that web of belief is the belief that the Earth is at the center of the universe. If only we had a solid foundation on which we can base all our beliefs, we would escape the problems of coherentism. Indeed, foundationalism is considered the most plausible theory of how we can justify our beliefs to have knowledge, explaining its popularity through the ages. According to Pritchard, classical foundationalism argues that knowledge is structured in such a way that chains of justification and with special self-justifying foundational beliefs which do not stand in need of any further support. Aristotle describes how his predecessors attempted to find the principles of all things. He himself proposes a candidate principle in his metaphysics, the principle of non-contradiction, which he believes is indubitable. It cannot be demonstrated since it's foundational. Aristotle writes, "It is impossible that there should be demonstration of absolutely everything. There would be an infinite regress, so that there will still be no demonstration." The quest for foundational principles did not stop there. Descartes, almost 2000 years later, launched a new epoch in philosophy with his method of radical doubt. In doubting literally everything, he realized that there must be a doubter doing the doubting, hence cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. From this indubitable principle and other principles, he reasoned to be likewise indubitable, such as the existence of a perfect God. He managed to restore the veracity of everything. In this way, foundationalism is like an inverted pyramid, where a vast number of beliefs are supported by a few foundational principles. This in itself is not a problem. After all, from Euclid's 5 foundational axioms of geometry, all of Euclidean geometry can be derived. Our problem is how it is not quite clear how we can get from cogito ergo sum to more mundane beliefs such as Jack is eating his lunch at 12:30 p.m. today, short of accepting that we live in a deterministic world. Hence, according to Pritchard, foundational beliefs do not seem able to support everyday beliefs. Perhaps a way foundational beliefs can do so would be for fallible beliefs from sense-making to also qualify as foundational. Aristotle had argued for this with the concept of proper sensibles, entwined with observation sentences which delineate observable objects and events in such a way that they will be agreed to by witnesses. However, since such beliefs are not infallible, it is unclear why they are foundational. Another problem troubling foundationalism is that Gödel had proved that in a system, not all truths can be derived from the system's axioms. Hence, taking self-evident steps from self-evident truths will not be able to deliver a system that contains all knowledge. This suggests that the truths that cannot be derived from the axioms cannot be justified through foundationalism, and yet they still require justification under the justified true belief criterion for knowledge. What each of these 3 theories of justification had been illustrated with shapes, such as a tower for infinitism, a web for coherentism, and an inverted pyramid for foundationalism, we should not be misled into thinking that one theory gives more stable results than the others. In philosophy, even statements which seem obvious, such as every effect has a cause, has been challenged effectively, in this case by Hume, who rejects causation in favor of conjunction. In the sciences, the principles of conservation of mass and the principle of conservation of energy, both thought inviolable, had to be reformulated as the principle of conservation of mass energy after Einstein published his theory of relativity. What is thought indubitable today may require modification or abandonment tomorrow. As Quine writes, no statement is immune to revision. Foundationalism is hence a difficult theory to maintain, since it requires infallible truths which have been shown to be not so infallible after all. Coherentism, on the other hand, retains its strength for being able to absorb new beliefs and revise or reject falsified ones. By considering the dialectic between coherentism and foundationalism, the solution to the problem of justification might be a synthesis of the two. The ideal theory for the justification of knowledge is a combination of foundationalism and coherentism. The proposed web of belief will be composed of indubitable foundational beliefs at its center, with its radials and outer rings composing non-foundational true beliefs coherent with the foundational beliefs, forming a coherent web with a core of solid foundational beliefs. Scientific and philosophical research can then continue to discover new beliefs or challenge existing ones, foundational or otherwise, and the combinatorial web will adjust accordingly, giving knowledge a flexible yet well-grounded coherent web of belief. Thank you.